Now we're recording. So this is our breath and meditation class, and we're just going to begin by snuggling into a comfortable way to sit. You could be sitting on the floor, or you could sit in a chair, a couch, on your bed, whatever works for you. Okay, so we're just going to start by bringing some awareness to the different parts of our body. And oftentimes we move through our day without a lot of awareness until, you stub your toe or you hit your elbow, your funny bone. And then suddenly that awareness is really, really sharp. Ideally, we'd like to have body awareness even when there isn't some kind of crisis situation in our sensory perception, right? So not just for the stubbed toe, but just moving through our day-to-day life. So we're just going to start by positioning the body in such a way that you feel aligned. You feel like there's some neutral placement of your limbs. And I just want you to begin to be aware of where your feet are in space. Noticing the bottoms of your feet and your toes. Sometimes I notice I'll come into this awareness practice and I'll notice my toes are curled. So if there's some tension there, go ahead and release that. And then notice your ankles and your knees and your thighs. And then we come to the really weight-bearing parts of the body. So notice your hips and your buttocks. And as you notice them, observe whether you can kind of settle the weight of your seat a little bit more. And then bring your attention to your spine. And we'll start with the low spine. So right at the low back, the sacrum. Imagine tracing your spine, starting at the lumbar spine, so really deep in towards the belly, starting at the lumbar spine, and then it goes up, and then it goes back, right? The thoracic spine expands back into the chair behind you, the cushion behind you, as it makes room for the heart and lungs. And then you keep going up to where your neck is, and you come all the way to the very top of the spine where your head rests, and just see if you can relax that connection a little bit. And you might need to bobble your head a tiny bit side to side to feel that softening. So we've got hips dropping down, and then soft connection between the head and the top of the spine. Okay, now let's bring our hands, go ahead and bring your hands to your chest, just resting your hands lightly on your chest. And let your shoulders relax. And notice your breath. As you inhale, feel how your chest rises into your hands. And as you exhale, feel your chest falling away. And take a few more breaths like that. We're not looking to change the breath at this point, just watching it. This is such a powerful practice. It really settles us in a very easy and succinct way. Just hands on the chest, watching the breath lift and lower the chest. Now go ahead and slide your hands down to your belly. And we'll take a slightly more exaggerated breath. As you inhale, feel your belly expand into your hands. And as you exhale, consciously draw your navel back towards your spine, back towards your lumbar spine. So inhale, your belly expands into your hands. Exhale, you feel that navel pulling back towards your lumbar spine. And just do a few more of those. This is not a natural way for us to breathe anymore. We used to breathe this way as infants, but for most of us, this is not how we naturally breathe. So it takes a little bit of concentration. This is also very soothing to the nervous system. Okay, now we're going to let go of holding the belly. Just rest your hands. And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open your eyes. All right, so that's just a little centering to begin. That's our precursor, our prelude. So now we'll come into a few joint warm-ups as we get ready to expand our breathing practices a little more. So let's start with the feet, or the toes more specifically. Go ahead and bring one foot up so that you have access to your toes. And wrap your fingers around your toes. I'm going to come a little closer so you can see this. So wrap your fingers around your toes, and you're just going to pull the toes down and then push the toes back. So if you look from the side, it looks like I'm standing on tippy toes. So pull the toes down, and you feel the stretch along the top of your foot, and then pull the toes back, feel the stretch on the bottom of your foot. And just go back and forth that way, warming up the muscles and the fascia at the bottom of your foot. Okay, and then release that and just circle your ankle around. I don't think you need a big zoom in close up of my feet circling. All right, and then go the other direction. Yeah. Okay, so now we're just gonna relax the foot and just warm up the knee a little bit. So you're just gonna bring the leg out straight and then pull the knee into your chest. Very simple little movement here. But, you know, think about how long you were sitting today without moving the legs in this fashion, and you realize how this is actually very powerful. Okay, one more. And then we're just going to set that foot down, that leg down, and we'll switch over to the other foot. So start with the toes, grab hold of the toes, and you first pull the toes down and then pull the toes back. Pull the toes down and pull the toes back. Yeah, going back and forth. It's a nice, pretty gentle way to warm up the joints of the feet. The joints of the feet are really strong. They actually, warming them up with some standing movement is preferred, but that's a whole different practice. Okay, and then start to circle the ankle. Yeah. And then in the other direction. Very, very simple, but again, very powerful, these little movements we're doing for the joints. I always say, never underestimate the power of an ankle circle. All right, now go ahead and relax that foot, and then we'll come into these knee bends. So straighten the knee, bend the knee. Oh, and you might even get to hear the creaks and cracks of my knee. Yeah. Good. One more. And then we'll set that foot down. Set the whole leg down. Good. So now we're going to come into some circles for the hips. So you may want to set your feet, if your feet are on the floor, you may want to set them a little wider apart. You could also do this cross-legged if that feels more comfortable for you. And then if you have something behind you, scoot a little forward or pull it back for the time being so that you have room to move back. And you're going to begin to circle the whole torso around the hips. And I want you to explore how big of a circle you can make and how that changes the weight and the stretch in your hips. Now, begin to tighten the circles up so each round gets a little bit smaller. So the torso is a little more upright. And a little bit smaller. And in about 3 more circles, we will just be sitting upright. And 1 more. And you come back to center. And then reverse. Big circles first. Nice and big, going the opposite direction now. Opposite direction. So whatever, if you were going clockwise, maybe now you go counterclockwise. And just like with the knees, you might, and the ankles, you might hear a few creaks and cracks as you go around. That's okay. All right, start to make the movement a little bit smaller. Take about 4 more circles to bring the spine back to center. Okay. And now we're right at the center. So now we're going to move the spine in a flexion and extension direction. So one way to think of this is the archetype of Superman and Clark Kent. So Superman, you know, we always see him pulling off his Clark Kent shirt with his costume underneath, right? So we slide hands down to the hips and then open up the chest. Yeah, like you're coming out of that Clark Kent shirt. And then slide your hands down towards your knees and round your back. Now we're coming back into the shy Clark Kent version of ourselves. So inhale, Superman, or in our case, Superwoman, and then exhale, Clark Kent. And I don't know Superwoman's alter ego, but maybe you make it up. So you go back and forth with your breath, feeling that flexion and extension of your spine. And it goes all the way up to the neck, remember. We trace that. A lot of times when we sit for long periods of time, we sort of end up in this Clark Kent shy position for too long, right? Yeah, good. Okay, 1 more like that. And then bring the spine back upright. See how that feels. Now we're going to do some movement specifically for the neck, shoulders, and upper back. So you'll start off with your hands together at Anjali Mudra. And then lace your fingers, but keep your palms facing you and extend the arms. Just in the upper back, round, like you're doing the Clark Kent version of that, but just in the upper back. And then turn the palms away from you, flip the palms away from you and reach your arms overhead. Yeah, feel that length from right and left side, reaching up, reaching up, reaching up. Now release your hands, let your hands go, and make a big circle with your arms back behind you. Like big sweeping circle Oh, that feels good. And then hands come back to the center of the chest. So we're going to do those 4 movements together with the breath. So we start here with Anjali Mudra, shoulders relaxed, take a breath in. Then exhale, lace the hands round the upper back, drop your chin. Inhale, turn the palms away from you, reach the arms overhead, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Then exhale, release the fingers and circle the arms back behind you. Inhale again, palms together. Exhale, lace the fingers, reach the arms forward, round your upper back. Inhale, turn your palms, reach the arms overhead, lengthen. And then exhale, circle the arms back behind you. Let's do all of that one more time. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, lace the fingers, extend the arms, drop your chin, round. Inhale, turn the palms, reach the arms overhead, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then exhale, circle the arms back and down. And just let the hands rest. Yeah, nice little refreshing movement for the spine. So we have our spine now nice and aligned, right? So we've got our hips and then the spine is nice and stacked. We're not doing the Clark Kent thing. We want to keep the spine stacked as we revolve, kind of like a barbershop pole. So start with your arms out into what we call the cactus pose. Take a breath here. And then as you exhale, bring one hand to meet the other. And then inhale and come back to center. Exhale, the other side. Inhale, back to center. Try not to lean, but try to really just twist around your waist. Yeah, good. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, twist to the side. Inhaling back to center. We're going to go side to side one more time, each direction. Exhaling, twist. Inhaling, unwind. Last time, exhaling, twist. And inhaling, unwind. Good. And then let your hands drop. Relax your shoulders. Okay, so now we'll come into a side bend, but I want us to kind of explore this side bend. So go ahead and anchor one hand down and lean towards it. And bring your other hand to your ribs near where you're feeling the stretch. So you could put your hands on the front of your ribs, side of your ribs, or the back of your ribs, whatever your shoulder allows. Yeah, good. Okay, now lean a little bit forward. Feel how that intensifies the stretch on the back ribs. And then try leaning a little bit back. Notice where you feel that. And then see if you can find just a side bend that isn't forward or back. Kind of a middle way. And take a few breaths there. If your shoulder here is okay with it, you can reach your arm overhead. If the shoulder says, no, thank you, that's too much for me, then don't worry about it. Good. And then we're going to push the seat down, push your hips down, and then slowly come back up. And feel that whole side of your body. Now we'll come to the second side. So anchor yourself down, lean, and then place your hands somewhere front, side, or back of your ribs. Yeah, good. Play with it a little bit. Lean a little forward. Notice how that feels. And then try leaning a little bit back. Notice how that feels. And then find a position that just feels like a side bend. And then notice if you can reach your arm overhead, if that's possible. Make sure my mic is doing what it's supposed to. Breathe. Good. And then slowly come on up. Ah. All right, now we're just going to come into any sort of a forward bend that works for you. So it might mean that you put your hands on your legs. It might mean that you put your hands on, the floor or the couch, the chair that you're sitting on. So just go ahead and let your head drop and take a few breaths, feeling the back surface of your body. And then slowly come back up. Okay. So now we'll come back into our awareness of our body position like we did at the very beginning. So find your comfortable way to be. Maybe it's cross-legged now, maybe not. But if it's cross-legged, just be aware that you might need something underneath your hips so that you don't start to slump, right? So you have to stay kind of alert through the spine. Yeah, good. All right, so we're bringing our awareness to the feet, to the legs, feeling our seat drop, traveling along the spine, the curves of the spine. So we go into the body for the lumbar curve. We move towards the surface of the body for the thoracic curve, and then go all the way to the very top of the spine and balance your head gently on the very top of your spine. Shoulders relax. Okay, so let's bring one hand to the belly and one hand to the chest. And we'll begin Durga Pranayama, which is we commonly refer to as 3-part breath. So start by emptying your exhale out, and then inhale and fill up the belly, then your ribs, then your chest. Exhale, empty from your chest, then your ribs, then your belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. And continue that way, imagining that the breath is a liquid and you're pouring it into the body and pouring it out of the body. So you're filling from the bottom to the top and then emptying from the top to the bottom. Now, most people, when they start with 3-part breath, they tell me that rib part is kind of not happening. That's okay if it's not happening, or if you don't feel like it's happening as much as the belly or the chest. Visualize your ribs expanding to allow the breath to come in, and then visualize your ribs narrowing to help encourage the breath to leap. Other than that, don't worry about the ribs. And we're breathing through the nose unless that creates tension. Breathing through the nose, filling up belly, ribs, chest, and then emptying from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. And you can feel how your body is responding to these directions. You can feel your hands moving as a response to these directions. After this next exhale, remove your hands from your torso, but continue three-part breathing. So still filling up belly, ribs, chest, and then emptying chest, ribs, belly. But no longer using the hands as feedback. So we're going to do 5 more breaths like this. At the end of this next exhale, go ahead and let the 3-part breath, the Durga pranayama, go. And just return to your organic breath. Okay. Now we're going to come into a breathing type called ujjayi, and that means victorious breath. This is sometimes referred to as Darth Vader breathing or a slight snoring breath. And that's because you make a little bit of a sound by constricting the back of your throat. So the easiest way I've found to learn this is to kind of play with it a little bit. So we're going to start on the inhale and exhale. I want you to whisper in your creepiest, most Halloween sounding voice the word summer. So just listen for a moment. It goes like this. Yeah. After each round, both inhale and exhale, close your mouth and swallow because it does dry your throat out a little bit. Okay. So let's do 3 of these together. So when you're ready, empty your breath out and then and then 2 more. And last one. Okay. So that constriction that you make at the back of your throat to make that whispery sound, that creepy Halloweeny sound, you're using the muscles at the back of your throat to make that happen. When you close your mouth for the M part of the word summer, you'll notice that there's still some sound going on at the back of your throat. That's the ujjayi sound. So this time we're just going to vocalize out loud the first part of the word. So we'll we'll do inhale, sa, and then you'll close your mouth for the M and then continue to make the ujjayi sound by constricting the back of your throat. And then exhale, sa, close your mouth, and then continue to make the ujjayi sound. Okay? Makes sense? Shall we try? So here we go. Creepy Halloween sounding ujjayi. So so when the mouth closes, you'll hear that that sound resonating at the back of your throat, and you're actually breathing through your nose at that point, right? So now we're going to try just breathing through the nose. Mouth is closed, but we're still constricting as if we're doing the M sound. And I want you to hear the sound of your breath, which is the ujjayi. So this one doesn't necessarily translate very well over Zoom, but because it is an internal sound that you're making, right? But what you're doing when you constrict your throat back there is you're creating a valve for your breath. So that allows you to really slow down the breath on the inhale and the exhale. All right. So let's take 5 of those ujjayi breaths, sitting up nice and tall, feeling how the breath expands the whole body on the inhale and then empties the body on the exhale. At the end of this exhale, return to your organic breath. Make sure you swallow a few times. As again, that could be a little bit drying for the throat. Okay. Oftentimes, ujjayi breath is taught in conjunction with a more rigorous practice, a vinyasa, a flowy type of practice. But also often it is kind of skipped over and not really taught how to do it. So I love going back to this fundamental of ujjayi. It really, for me at least, it gives me an anchor for my mind, kind of a white noise to attach to when my thoughts are going around and around like a hamster on a wheel. So it can be very meditative, it can be very soothing, it can put you to sleep pretty quickly because it almost sounds like snoring. Okay, so now we're going to come into alternate nostril breathing. And there are lots of fancy ways to plug the flap of the nostril. I just keep it really simple. I'm right-handed, so I hold up my right hand and I just have my thumb and pinkies free to block the nostrils. That's it. I keep it super simple there. Okay. So let's start by emptying all the breath out and then plug your right nostril. Inhale the left for 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug both and hold for 1, 2, and then release the right nostril. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale the right nostril for 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug both and hold. 1, 2. Release the left and exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. Plug both and hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Plug both and hold. Exhale left. Inhale left. Plug both and hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. Plug both and hold. Exhale left. Now inhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug both and hold for 1, 2, 3. Exhale right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug both and hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug both and hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug both and hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now inhale left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug both and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug both. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug both and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug both and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then release and just breathe. Take a few rounds of breathing through both sides of the nose. Notice if there is an organic falling into either 3-part breath or ujjayi breath. And if there isn't an organic falling into those practices, don't force it. Just feel your breath. Okay, so now we're going to come into our meditation. It's called Feeling and Accepting the Body Whole and Total. That's a long name. But really, it is a practice of, it's part of a compassion practice, turning the compassion towards yourself. So as I said before, you're welcome to remain seated. If you are sitting, probably a good idea to not have the legs crossed, just because sometimes that gets the wires crossed in your brain. So whatever is comfortable, and we will be in this position for 15 minutes or so. So make sure that you're very comfortable. And if you want to lay down, that is perfectly acceptable too. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to begin by settling your body, settling your feet, your legs, and your hips. And then resting your hands someplace that's comfortable. Closing your eyes. Ideally, the head is resting against something as well. And then bring your attention to your feet. Feel your feet. Picture your feet as they are right now. And then throughout time. As you picture your feet throughout time, be aware of any conclusions you may have made about your feet that are related to your worth or your value, your capacity. And release these conclusions, accepting your feet just as they are and just as they are not. Now be aware of your legs. Right leg, left leg. Feel your legs. Picture your legs as they are now and throughout your life. Look for conclusions you made throughout time about your legs that are related to your worth, your value, your capacity. And release these conclusions, accepting your legs just as they are, just as they are not. Now bring your attention to your hips and your buttocks. Feel your hips and buttocks. Picture them as they are now and throughout your life. And look for conclusions you may have made about your hips or your buttocks related to your worth or value, your capacity. Release these conclusions, accepting your hips, accepting your buttocks just as they are, and just as they are not. And bring your attention to your back. Feel your back. Picture your back as it is now throughout your life. Look for conclusions you may have made about your back related to your worth, your value, your capacity. Release these conclusions and accept your back just as it is and just as it is not. Bring your attention to your belly. Feel your belly. Picture your belly. Now and throughout your life. Look for conclusions you made about your belly related to your worth, your value, your capacity. And release these conclusions, accepting your belly just as it is, just as it is not. Bring your attention to your chest. Feel your chest. Picture your chest as it is now and throughout time. Look for conclusions you made about your chest related to your worth, your value, your capacity, and release these conclusions, accepting your body just as it is, just as it is not. Bring your attention to your hands. Feel your hands. Picture your hands as they are now and throughout time. Look for conclusions you may have made about your hands related to your worth, your value, your capacity. And release these conclusions, accepting your hands just as they are and just as they are not. Bring your attention to your arms, right arm, left arm. Feel your arms. Picture your arms. Run through time and look for conclusions you may have made about your arms related to your worth, your value, your capacity. And release these conclusions, accepting your arms just as they are, just as they are not. Now bring your attention up to your neck. Feel your neck. Picture your neck. Run through time and look for conclusions you may have made about your neck related to your worth, your value, your capacity. And release these conclusions, accepting your neck just as it is, just as it is not. Bring your attention to your mouth, your teeth, and your tongue. Feel your mouth, your teeth, and your tongue, and picture them. Go through time and look for conclusions you may have made about your mouth, or about your tongue, or about your teeth, related to your worth, your value, your capacity. And release these conclusions, accepting your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, just as they are, and just as they are not. Now bring your attention to your nose, your cheeks, and your ears. Feel your nose and cheeks and ears and picture them. Run through time and look for conclusions you may have made about your nose or your cheeks or your ears that are related to your worth, value, or capacity. And release these conclusions, accepting your nose, your cheeks, and your ears just as they are and just as they are not. Now bring your focus to your forehead and your eyes. Feel your forehead and eyes. Picture them. Run through time and look for conclusions that you may have made about your forehead or about your eyes that are related to your worth or your value or your capacity. Release these conclusions, accepting your forehead and your eyes just as they are and just as they are not. Now feel your whole body, head to toes. Picture your whole body. Run through time and observe any conclusions you may have made about your body related to your worth, your value, your capacity. Let go of these conclusions, accepting your body just as it is, just as it is not. Now bring your attention to the space that you're in, listening for sounds inside the room, outside the room, noticing light behind your eyelids, the feeling of weight and lightness in your body. As you're ready, place your hands back to your belly. Breathe into your hands, inflating the belly as you inhale, emptying the belly as you exhale. And shift your hands up to your chest, feeling your chest rise as you inhale and fall as you exhale. And then when you do open your eyes, just go ahead and blink the eyes a few times, like kind of fluttering the eyelids up, and come back to your comfortable seat, whatever that looks like. And we'll just close by bringing the palms together at the center of your chest. So this accepting the body whole and total is a definite practice. And the first time through, it can be a little bit surprising. But the more you go through it, I think the more useful it becomes. The easier it becomes, that's for sure. But the more useful it becomes. And since you have a recording now, I invite you to do it as often as you can. Thank you so much. Namaste.